All right, guys, in this video, we are going to look at something that a lot of people don't do correctly and some tools to make sure you do it correctly, and that is setting belt tension after a serpentine belt job or drive belt job. If you don't want to come back for a squeaky belt, or worse yet, a failed component because the tension was set too tight and the bearings fail, you're going to want to watch this video, and we'll also show you some proper techniques for setting the tension using the right tools. All right, the first method we're going to talk about is kind of the hack method, and it is, if you can take the belt and you can turn it 90 degrees and no more than that, the tension is set correctly. All right, if you're using that method, please don't work on anyone else's cars besides your own. The thing with that method is there's so many variables to that, depending on the thickness of the drive belt, the length, especially the length of the drive belt is the biggest variable, and also the devices that are driven by the drive belt. There may be varying tension more or less, particularly if you have multiple drive belts that each drive belt individually drives a component. Those can have different tensions despite them being the same length. So an arbitrary method like that really is unreliable. The proper way of setting tension is by pounds of force to result in a certain deflection. What that means is if I've got the belt tight and I push on the belt, I should only be able to push it down a certain amount. And the service information is going to tell you specifically how much force to push down and how much deflection or movement you will get, and also where to do that test, because obviously the longer your stretch of belt is, the less tension it will take to push and get a lot of deflection, whereas the shorter that section is, the more tension that it would take, and it's going to be a lot harder to get a lot of deflection. So you really need to check your service information first. In order to accurately do this, we therefore need to take two accurate measurements. To accurately measure our force that we're pushing on the belt to create the deflection, we accurately need to measure that amount of deflection, and that's where these tools will come in. All right, the first tool we're going to use is a fairly professional one. This is the OTC belt tension gauge. The nice thing about this one is you only have to take one measurement with this tool. And this is generally what I like to rely on. The problem with it is, as you can see, it's a bit bulky. And on most modern vehicles, it's going to be very difficult to be able to use this, unfortunately. And you're going to have to be able to rely on other methods. But let's go ahead and show you how easy this one works. Use this tool. It's very simple. We're just going to insert the belt above this hook and trap it here in these surfaces, and that's going to create a deflection that the tool is going to measure. Okay, so my hook is underneath the belt. The belt is being trapped between the hook and these surfaces. We just let it go, and we can see the dial up front. And the dial is reading the tension of the belt between those points of contact. All right, as you can see, that's really quick, really simple. Place this where the manufacturer specifies for your measurement point, and you're done. The other thing I like about this tool a lot is I can leave it on the belt while I'm adjusting the tension, and then make sure I can see that it's set at the right tension without having to constantly remeasure. Now, the biggest problem with this tool is on most modern engines, you just simply do not have a point where you can fit this tool in here and accurately measure it. This belt is recessed under the cylinder head here, and it's just not a real practical way of using it. So that's where a tool like this comes in, that's way smaller. And while you can use this tool independently, I actually find it's easier to use it with a ruler, and we'll demonstrate it. But there's actually two functions on this particular tool. Of course, we're going to list both of these tools we've used in our product description here. Let me show you real quickly how this works. All right, if we look, this is basically a plunger type tool, and it's got a couple of little rubber O-rings that are used as markers. The first one is a marker for your downward pressure on the belt. And you can see as I move down, The O-ring just marks where that tension is. Typically, you're going to be looking at 20 pounds of force. So one thing that I'll do for the tool is I'll just go ahead and I'll set the tool for 20 pounds right there and push on the belt until I hit the stop, and then I know I'm at 20 pounds. Now the second end of the tool is a ruler, and what this allows you to do is use the tool in reverse, and you can push on the belt to your 20 pounds, but you'll be able to measure your deflection on the ruler right there. The truth is, this does not work nearly as well. First of all, on this tool, there isn't a good grip on the bottom there as opposed to this rubber grip. And typically what I find much, much easier to do is to just use a ruler in conjunction with this tool. We'll go ahead and demonstrate it. All right, there are so many ways to do this. Some people will make reference mark on the front of the engine itself, things like that. This is the way I'm going to do it. Let's say we looked at our manufacturer specifications, and the specifications say between these two pulleys here, we want to have 1/2 inch of deflection at 20 pounds of force. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a ruler. I'm going to set it right in the middle of the belt because we're always going to test exactly in the middle here. And I'm going to put my ruler with a blue mark on the ruler at 1/2 inch. When I move that belt to the end of the ruler, I know that that's going to be 1/2 inch. I'm then going to take my preset marking here at 20 pounds with the rubber O-ring there. I'm going to put the tool on there. I can see I've deflected the belt to the end of the ruler here. I know that I'm at the right tension. All right, as you can probably tell, this is going to be a much less expensive method by far, but also it's not quite as convenient as you have to repeatedly measure the tension as you're tightening the belt. Also keep in mind that your belt tension is not necessarily indication of belt wear. The way you're checking your belt wear will be another video because you're probably doing that wrong. The idea of checking for cracks on the belt certainly is a viable way, and if you've got cracks in a line or so many cracks per inch. But the thing is, there's also a wear indication on the belt that's more like a tire tread wear, the depth of the ribs. And we'll cover that in a future video, but just to keep that in mind, that your belt tension is not necessarily related with determining belt wear. All right, we're going to go ahead and link both of these tools in the product description for this video so you can find the exact same ones. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this helpful.